Welcome to part 3 of this video series that describes making a small steam test plant. In this video I'll be making the steam turret and boiler feed pump mounting for the steam plant. This will be a stranger video as I have workshop techniques videos on each of these items. I'll reference these and show the highlights of each component. I covered making a steam turret in my workshop techniques part 17 video. I'll put a link to this video in the description below. This photo shows the turret after the steam passages and ports have been drilled and tapped. Next, I made the post that supports the turret. I didn't follow any drawings for the post. I just used my eye to get dimensions proportional. I started by turning a piece of 5/8 inch brass bar stock down to 11/64 inch diameter for a length of 0.200 inches. This forms the peg that locates in the turret. I then turned the bar stock down to 0.475 inches along its length. This created the flange at the turret end of the post. I then used a button head tool to turn the diameter of the post to 0.280 inches and form a curve at each end. The post has a 0.475 inch flange at the turret end and a 0.625 inch flange at the baseboard end. I then parted off the post with a parting tool. This photo shows the turret mounted on the post before silver soldering them together. I center punched the flange end of the post so that it stood off the turret by a few thousandths of an inch. This would allow solder to flow between the parts. I then applied flux to the flange and locating peg, took it over to the soldering area, and silver soldered the two parts together. This clip shows me silver soldering the parts. I cleaned up the turret and installed the various fittings on it. Here's a rundown of the configuration of the turret. First, there's the main steam supply port which connects steam from the boiler to the turret. Next, there's a displacement lubricator which mixes steam oil into the steam. Then, there's the steam supply valve which will regulate the supply of steam to a steam engine. This is the exhaust inlet port which connects exhaust steam from a steam engine to the turret. Finally, there's the exhaust outlet which connects the exhaust steam to the condenser oil trap. Next, I moved on to preparing the mounting for the boiler feed pump. The first job was to make some fittings for the ports on the feed pump. I started by center drilling a piece of 3/8 inch hex brass bar stock. I then drilled with a letter F drill to a depth of 0.437 inches and tapped the hole with a 5/16 inch 32 threads per inch thread. I deburred the end of the bar stock, test fitted the feed pump onto the fitting, and marked the flat that will be drilled for a tube union with a Sharpie. Next, I drilled the fitting to a depth of 0.575 inches with a number 19 drill to create a steam passage. After drilling, I parted the fitting off with a parting tool. I set the fitting with the blued side facing upwards. I then center drilled with a number 5 drill, and tapped the fitting with a 1/4 40 threads per inch taper tap. This hole is where the tube union will be screwed into. I made another similar fitting, so there's one on the suction and discharge of the pump. This photo shows the assembled pump with the fittings and tube unions. When assembling the pump, I used Loctite 542 thread sealant to seal the fittings and unions. I made a drawing to calculate the height of a mounting block required so that the suction of the feed pump is in line with the feed water tank outlet. I then used this to draw the dimensions of the mounting block, which are 1.119 inches high, 1.5 inches long, and 1 inch deep. I didn't have any 1.25 bar stock to make the mounting block, so I decided to make one with a flange or plinth. This clip shows me milling a piece of 1 inch 12L 14 bar stock to a length of 1.5 inches. Next, I drilled and countersunk 2 holes that wood screws will go through to secure the mounting block to the baseboard. This clip shows one of the holes being countersunk and a screw being test fitted. I then center drilled with a number 43 drill and threaded a hole with a 440 threads per inch tap at each corner. These threaded holes will be used to secure the feed pump to the mounting block. This clip shows me threading one of the holes. I made a plinth out of a piece of 1/8 inch brass plate. So with the mounting block, this will be 1.125 inches high, which is close enough to the desired height of 0.119 inches. I secured the plinth to the mounting block with a countersunk hex screw and then silver soldered the 2 parts together. This clip shows me silver soldering. This photo shows the feed pump fitted on the mounting block. All that is left to do is paint the mounting block, but I'll do this off camera. I hope that I could cover the baseboard in this video, however, I've ran out of time. I'll end this video here. So, that's the steam turret and boiler feed pump mounting for the steam plant completed. Next, I'll be moving on to the baseboard and miscellaneous parts. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you.